Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. Now this is the part 2 of the Q&A, so the answer part. 2 weeks ago put the video on for people to ask me questions, and we've got a bunch of questions here now to answer. So in regards to these questions, I've just read them now and at the time when they post them, but I haven't formulated any answers to them, so this is straight up. Now we're going to go through the questions individually and answer them for you at the best of my ability. Okay, so the first question is from motto back to constitution. The question is, who is Archon, who's left, and how to spell them? Okay, so now the Archons are related to the Reptilians. Okay, so they're a modified being that came from Reptilians, and also artificial intelligence as well. And so they, at the moment, currently, are no longer in their physical manifestation here. But what we're having to do with clients now is just remove the residual intent and energy now. And once we clear that out, clients are feeling the difference, and also looking at this matrix or simulated reality, the coding component of it. They come under one, and which is under the Reptilians, and answers names such as Zeus, Moloch, Lucifer. What else is there? There are many beings under the name of an Archon or Reptilian. A lot of the demonic information coming forth all comes from the Archons, who are then connected to the Reptilians as well. Now, next question. Sorry for that first question. How do you spell them? So, Zeus, Z-E-U-S, Moloch, M-O-L-L-O-C-K, or O-C-H, whatever way you want to spell it. Lucifer, L-U-C-I-F-E-R. What else was there? Satan, S-A-T-A-N. A lot of these names are all under that umbrella of the Reptilians and Archons. Okay, question 2. One thing in regards to these beings' names, you'll notice that a lot of them are within our mythology or our history and deemed as gods. So it's just a loose translation that God means extraterrestrial or advanced life form. Question 2 is from Magda M. You work on the liquid crystal by disconnecting beasts and the earth grid and sometimes reptilian grids, but are you aware that the crystal has to be completely lifted in order to remove all diseases? Okay, so first of all, I'll work on the liquid crystal again. I'm not too sure what you mean by the liquid crystal. One thing that I will say is that, hey, there's a lot of energy practitioners out there, and not one person has all the answers and knows everything, and we all have a piece of the puzzle, and we all, more importantly, we have a lot of things in common, but the thing that maybe is a little bit different is our perception of it or perspective of it, of the same thing. So I might be doing something that's very much in line with what you call the liquid crystal, but I don't use those specific words. So disconnecting beasts, yes. Well, disconnecting negative manipulative energies, yes, such as Archons, such as Reptilians, some malevolent Arcturians as well, the artificial intelligence and a number of other things. Now the Earth grid, this is an interesting one, because I'm lately getting, a few years ago, I looked at the Earth probably a little bit more in a physical means. These days, because the thing is, there's no problem with saying something you said about 2 or 3 years ago and then saying something completely different now, because the important thing with energy is always moving. Okay, it's always shifting, it's always transmuting. So you have to go with it. So it doesn't necessarily mean I say one thing and then I'm saying something and I'm completely, change my thoughts on it based on information that is rock solid and will not change or transmute. Energy is always shifting, so therefore your idea or your information coming through, because it's not really my ideas. I'm just the channeler, okay? So the information that's coming forth to me is not my information. It's just channeling through to me because my intent is to be a healer. I want to help people heal, and I want people to know more truth. At the core of it, I'm a truth seeker. I don't want to just go through life in a program reality, not knowing the big questions: where we come from, why is it the way it is, why is the suffering, why are people suffering with all these problems. My intent is to know the answers for those things, and therefore I will be connected with a consciousness or an energy that will channel that information through me and to me. So in regards to that, going back to the Earth grid, is the idea that, hey, what is the Earth? Really. I've had a lot of intel that we've left the Earth and we've gone to another star system. So I guess the question there is, what, the Earth within the simulated reality, this program reality, or are we talking about beyond that program reality into the real world sort of thing? So there's a lot more information to come in regards to the Earth itself. So connecting to the Earth grid, I've once upon a time used Earth as a consciousness source, and that helped for a small period of time, and connecting with all the Earth grid. But for me, is I need the channel to something that's going to give me true, real answers, and something outside of the simulation or the program reality. So, but mixed in regards to the Earth grid. Sometimes reptilian grids, I guess you're going with the word grids, is their structure, I guess, or their the way they've put everything in place. Now, reptilians, probably a year ago, I was going on a session 12 months ago, whereas reptilian after reptilian, which is clear reptilian after reptilian. The client would come back, yell, oh, there's more reptilian stuff, reptilian. It's not like that anymore. So that's why I know things are changing. The word reptilian really hardly comes up at all within sessions, to be honest. Is there little co-references and things that are connected to the reptilians that come up? Yes, still. But they're usually residual stuff and more like connections. We just need to disconnect, and then all of a sudden that problem's gone. Currently, at the moment, in regards to, I guess, the reptilians and any other manipulative force, is my awareness has been not only on geometry, but also this construction of our matrix world, which is our simulated program reality, based on numbers and coding as well, and deciphering what code and what numbers what, and finding out that one is to the reptilians and the archons. So we disconnect, we decode that number from people, and that's working really well at the moment. Again, I'm not too sure about what you mean by the crystal. Crystal's just a geometry. I don't have anything against people using crystals for healing. Crystals are fantastic because, again, they amplify your intent because it's a structured device. I guess that's why it's more powerful using a geometry or a crystal, something which has geometry or structure. That's where the word information comes from. It's information, it's structured. Is a little bit better than just you saying it yourself, is because how do you know that you're fully structured yourself? Are you drinking structured water? Is there anything manipulative or anything stuck within your energy field that's making a problem? And if you've got a health problem somewhere within your body, it's most likely that part of your body's not structured very well. So you can't kind of rely on yourself. That's why you kind of use these tools to amplify your intent, to make it go deeper and stronger, because it's something that's structured. Anyway, we'll go to the next question. Next question is from Michael, and what's or who's in control of the reincarnation system, and how do we exit it? So this is a really awesome question, And this is something that, is a big focus of mine, because I want to know what this reality is all about. And my experience has been so far that on an individual level, I'm here as a healer. I'm here to help you on your healing journey or process. But a big part of that journey, or you healing, is yourself and taking your own responsibility. Also, more importantly, learning um, about the reality that you live in. Okay, you need to be a truth seeker yourself. You need to figure it out. Whether you talk about you building up karma and then reincarnating, come back to relearn the lesson, or not relearn it, but actually trying to figure out the lesson so you can move on, is more the lesson is learning about your reality that you live in. That is the biggest thing. And if you can do that, then you're in a good place to remove all that karmic debt, and then to figure out how to exit this simulation or program reality. Now, what's or who's in control of the reincarnation system? That's a great question. Now, we're currently, in regards to Ascension, we're transitioning from the old simulation, okay, to the new simulation. Now, any simulated program reality is housed within a cube, okay, and the old system was black cube, and really black just translates or symbolizes negative intent, okay, and then we're going to a white cube, which is positive intent. It's a bit like somebody saying, hey, you practice witchcraft, and for a lot of people are happy. Oh, cool, that's awesome. And then for some people, they're like, oh, that's dark stuff. Well, the thing is, witchcraft is all about using intent, and you can use intent to harm, or you can use intent to heal. So black witchcraft, again, the word black goes with intent to harm, and white witchcraft goes with the ability to heal using that intent. So in regards to the reincarnation system, the old system, okay, which has been created, which was within a 3D form, a cube, was all about control, manipulation. Okay, the agenda of that, the consciousness and beings that created that system and created humanity to be farmed for pollution, this negative energy that we give off through our emotional response in a negative way. They would control the reincarnation system, because you were living out life what you thought was real life, okay, and the real reality, which really wasn't. It was a false life, or false reality, or program reality. Now, all of a sudden, you die, and then they'd reincarnate you back and put you back in whenever they needed it, because to feed off your energy, of course. And then reincarnation system in regards to going to the new simulation, which is going to be controlled by Ascension itself. And Ascension is not an event; it's a consciousness that's here to assist you in regards to your manifestation, finding your real purpose in life. So they'll be in control of reincarnation, and with also obviously the idea of you learning, getting to a point where you can take on the real life, so to speak, and escape the simulated reality. Now, a big question I had with this takeover in regards to a suppressed consciousness from the old simulation to a new simulation, which is a consciousness that's all about creating consciousness for people and enhancing your manifestation capability, showing you your true potential. A big question was, why are we, if we're getting out of a simulation, why do we have to be going into another simulation? And I think the answer to that, and I know the answer to that, is the fact that majority of us, the human population here within the simulation, is just not ready for the real life. They're not ready to face that. It's going to be such a big change, because so many people are being so programmed to the nth degree that they are not ready to face that. So we need kind of a transitioning phase, which this new simulation is going to be. For the people that are not conscious now, they're going to find awareness and consciousness through disclosure of information of what's actually been happening for us for so many years. Disclosure of new technology that's been suppressed, and those sorts of things. For the people that are already awake, they're going to learn capabilities of them being able to exit the simulation, and further on their development in regards to their purpose, their dharma, their consciousness. And in regards to the part of how do we exit, well, that's information coming through at the moment for me, is learning how to do that. So I can't give you a defined answer in regards to that, other than what I just mentioned, in the fact that we're going now into a new reality, new simulation that is fostered to help us learn more about our reality, and when we can do that, then we can find the ways how to remove ourselves from this program reality into our real world. The next question is from Andy Marshall, and this question is: can all chronic conditions be cured with enough sessions? For example, MS, which probably is harder than cancers. Now, I'll answer the second part. MS, yes, correct. It is harder than most cancers. Okay, again, depending on cancers, depending on the stage of the cancer. If it's very late stage, like stage 4 cancer, and they've been through chemo, radiation, all these other things which impair the body and its ability to recover, then yeah, they can be pretty difficult. But if we can get it early on, then yeah, we can sort that out in regards to cancers. MS, huge manipulation. Okay, all chronic conditions. The key word here is manipulation. We've been in a reality that was created for us to be manipulated with, a bit like we look at rats in a laboratory. We were kind of rats to many of these being or consciousness that feed off loose energy, which is negative, low vibrational energy or fear energy. Our universe that we currently live in, which is there's a multitude of universes, sustains from love. It doesn't actually sustain from fear. So that's why they had to create a false reality to be sustained and feed off that energy. So the first question: can all chronic conditions be cured with enough sessions? Yes. My answer to that would be yes. And at this point in time, like we're needing less and less sessions to get things done for people compared to a year ago, just because we're getting closer to the truth in regards to disclosure and transitioning from the old simulation to new simulation, which we call ascension. It's giving us more information, and for people like me, not only me, but people that channel information, we're just the messenger of this information. It's all about detective work. We need to be specific what we're finding and what we need to do, and with more veils lifting off every day at the moment, at this pace, it's giving us more information, and we're able to do less clearings and get more of an effect happening now. So I've had clients in the past with MS, and a current client with MS who it's very slow progress. I'll be honest about that, because it's a very chronic problem, it's about a few months ago I got told by my channel that January, February was the time to start working on these really chronic cases and really getting places with them, because a lot faster, because this transition from the old simulation to a new simulation, ascension, is moving so rapidly at the moment. We're starting to get the information, we're getting the tools now to then work, really make some impact into really chronic cases, especially in earlier sessions. Because one thing I must say about all these chronic conditions are, these are people that have had these conditions for a wee while now. They've been to many people before they've come to see me with no success, and it's not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to be you're going to have a problem for 10 years or a number of years, and all of a sudden within 1 hour it's going to be completely cured. And the word cure is really a programmed word as well. It really drops people's vibration load, because everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to get a cure, and they really heighten the expectations, and then when they don't get that, then it just completely drops, and then loose energy is produced from that. So I don't really like using the word cure. There's not one thing that will cure your problem. It's a multifaceted approach, and nutrition, exercise, all these sorts of things are just as valuable but a big component of that is this reality, which is within the unseen. Our eyes can only see less than 0.05% of the electromagnetic frequency of scale. So there's a lot that we can't see. So when we're dealing with nutrition, supplements, modern medicine in regards to pharmaceuticals, all these treatment options, what they all have in common is that what you can see. Okay, and if what you can see is less than 0.05% of what there is, then we're missing a big chunk of what could be causing your health problem. So, and coming back to a lot of these people that have been to so many practitioners before, they've had the problem for so long, is they're quite often usually in a state of mind that they just need something. They just need a healing to happen very quickly for them, because they're just losing all hope. They've got very little hope in themselves and in life and helping them with their health problems. And sometimes, for MS and those chronic problems, we need to be doing many sessions, 10, 20, 30, even more sessions, to really get down to it, because there's so many layers of manipulation. But as I say, I'm finding that all these veils and layers of manipulation are starting to be shed away. So it's definitely making it easier and faster to look at what is actually causing your problem. So for people that got MS and chronic problems, I feel like really we're getting there. The time is coming to find out the real reasons behind your problem. Next question from Josie. When something is released in a session, is there any chance for it to reattach itself? And once a session is done, for results, is it normally straight away or weeks? Good question. Very common question. Now, one thing I must say is we're all individuals. We're all different. Okay. So, I see it commonly with, the same mistake of nutrition, those sorts of things, is everyone's looking for what's the right diet for human beings, and, going from one diet to the next. You've got to find out individually what works for you, because everyone's going to be different from one person to the next. What I find here at Truly Holistic, you may have 10 people who have got diabetes, but okay, there's common ground. That's going to be obviously something to do with the pancreas, but they could have diabetes for 10 different reasons. So you have to look on an individual basis. And with my system here, I don't go into a healing with someone expecting what to find. I just through my mind and allow that channel to come through and tell me what needs to be done, because it could be different from one person to the next. So the question is, when something is released in a session, is there any chance for it reattached? Yes, there is a chance of that. Now, the importance of this is you need to disconnect all connections, all ways they're getting to you, for them to not reattach to you. So when we are clearing something out, if we've completely extracted the whole problem out, and that's another important thing to note in regards to using geometry, is when you use your intent alone, you may be able to get 2 or 3 layers deep into the body, but when you use geometry tools, you can go 20 layers or further into the body. So, if you just use your own intent with your hand or with you may remove some of it out, but you may not extract the roots of the problem out. And if the root's still there, then that problem can re-manifest and come back. So hence why I'm always looking at new geometries and new ways that are more powerful and able to get deeper into the body, deeper, extracting the whole problem out and doing it in a faster way. Therefore you don't have to pay for as many sessions and you can get a result faster. So it depends on the ways that they're connecting to you in regards to the negative energy or the entity. But when we do a clearing and I put the tool up and I say false and I feel a pullback, that vibration frequency has been removed. Okay, there's no doubt about it, that has been removed. But if there's still connections of ways that we haven't found yet that are getting to you, can they re-manifest through their intent, whether it's an entity being? Yes, they can to do something else. But we're getting to the point now that we're finding the root causes of a lot of things, especially when we look at this whole idea of the importance of our reality, this existence, this construct. How has it been created? Through coding, numbers, and geometry. If we can find that and decipher the coding and associate that with a particular entity or being, remove that from a person, then what I'm finding of late is that energy's not coming back. So again, example from a year ago to now. A year ago, clearing out reptilian after reptilian after reptilian, because we couldn't push. There were so many different veils and layers, we couldn't push through it to fully remove the root of the problem. But now these days, you know, when we're clearing stuffing out, we're getting really good results in regards to extracting the whole problem out. So I hope that's answered your question. And then in regards to results, everyone's different. Again, just like your diet, you know, one thing will work for one person, one thing will work for the other. Exactly the same in regards to results, how you'll feel with clearings. I've got clients that are so sensitive to clearings. I'll do one clearing, put the tool up to the camera and remove something, and they're yawning their head off, or that the belching. You can see like in their face, they're like, wow, that was strong, from every clearing that we're doing. Okay, so to that degree, and then straight after the session, or within 15 minutes in the session, I've even done free healing on Facebook. Just within 10-15 minutes, we'll give someone pain from 9 out of 10 down to 0 out of 10, just within 10-15 minutes. So we get that effect, but we also get people that we do session after session, and they'll not feel anything or no change whatsoever. And also some people that will feel better in a few hours after the session. Some people will feel better after a week after the session. It's different for everybody. It really is. And that just tells me that we're all individual, and we're all different. I guess also there's another question further down that's kind of connected to what I'm going to say now, but it also comes to, I guess, where you're at. Okay, how open you are to the energies as well. Definitely, that would probably play a role as well. And there's another question from Josie. Does the person need to do something to stay clean after a session or be protected? Yes, definitely. And that's a big goal of mine in regards to this year, is teaching people ways of keeping clean. And one thing, even though I'm removing negative energies, we're removing infections and helping you with your health problem, after that session you still have to go back into the simulated or programmed reality, which is all about vibration and frequency. You know, chemtrails, Wi-Fi, cell phone towers, HARP, CERN. What they've all got common is they distort frequency. Okay, so you're having to go back into that jungle of distorted frequency, which is there to lower your vibration. So you need things to protect yourself, to keep yourself high vibrational. So definitely there are things to keep you clean and stay clean, keep your vibration up, more importantly, because when your vibration lows, then you're a magnet for further negative energies, negative manifestations, attachments to attract to you. Okay, what we call I guess we could call the law of attraction. So yeah, so you need tools, geometry, and little things like that, tensor technology, the harmonizers, tensor rings, pendants, especially things on your body. Okay, have them in your pockets and stuff like that, because remember, your energy body, your bioenergetic field, which I like to call it, it's a lot more of a cleaner word than the aura, is 4 feet away from your physical body. So that is you. So when somebody walks within that, you feel hey, I don't feel comfortable here in my personal space, because that person's in you. Okay, it's in your field. Now, you're walking past people all the time. You're maybe attaching stuff off them onto your field. So you need something on you or within your field to protect it, right? So, wearing, for example, myself, I wear a pendant, which is, I'll just show you, MWO pendant, which I sell on my website, and that comes from Secret Knowledge Energy Tools. Now wonderful, they're in Australia. And this incorporates a tensor ring and incorporates a device here which is all about ascension. Actually, out is gravity, so it brings more levitational energy, which is keeping you high vibrational. So I wear that on me. I wear wear a tensor ring bangle or around my wrist, which has also got a little mini AccuVac on it, which is always working on my energy field. I quite often have that in my pocket, a beamer, which is a free energy device, so it's giving off energy all the time, so charging my own energy field. So, you know, you can have little tricks and little things like that to keep on your body all the time, and it'll keep you high vibrational. I'm also, hopefully in the next month or two, I'm trying to get it out next month. It's going to be a guide booklet. It's going to be the guide to ascension and escaping this matrix world. But it's going to incorporate a lot of the geometry tools that I'm talking about here, that I have here, and also a booklet that will talk about this program or simulated world that we live in, to help people remove the programming that we've been programmed with for so long, give you an understanding of our reality, and then also have the tools and the geometry, and in the book will show you how to use them on all facets of your life: restructuring food, restructuring water, keeping your environment clean from Wi-Fi and all this disrupted frequency, keeping you clean. So that is coming, so keep an eye out for that. Next question from Mark. Mark's got two or three questions here. From my experience with healers, you are unique. Thank you, Mark. But I ask myself, is there only you around who is doing something like this on this level? Would like to know names of a few others doing a similar thing, and love to hear who were your teachers. Great question. Okay, first question, is there anyone doing something like this or to your level? Okay, well, who I channel consciousness that's very connected to the ascension process. Okay, and it makes a lot of sense to do that, because ascension is I guess a word that you can place in regards to ascension that's a bit more understandable for the majority of people, is personal growth. But this is more of an energetic or spiritual level, not religious level. Spiritual level is completely different, and it's all about being open-minded to everything, and my system's open-minded. And by connecting to consciousness that's directly connected to ascension, you're kind of keeping your fingers on the pulse of these energetic shifts and changes that are happening all the time. Because, as I say, energy is always moving, and there's no point having a practice that just sits tight with a certain way of doing things and doing that day and week and month and year out. When energy is always shifting, transmuting and changing, you need to change with it. And that's what I do here at Truly Holistic. So I guess in regards to moving and transitioning and changing my practice, I don't feel like I haven't come across many people doing that. There's a lot of people out there that they all, as I say, have in an earlier question, pieces of the puzzle, and their perception and perspective on something could be the same thing, but we're just seeing it in different ways. But they kind of will have a practice and they kind of stick to that practice, when really it doesn't resonate with me, because the energy is shifting and changing, and therefore you have to change with it to keep up with it. Because I get comments a lot with my videos of information I was putting out 2 years ago, and to be honest, that information I was bringing out 2 years ago is not valid now. Things have moved on and shifted on, and things are different now, and the information I'm bringing through now is probably in 2 or 3 weeks is going to be old, and there's going to be new stuff. So that's probably the uniqueness of my system, the way I practice what I do. As I say, I'm just a receiver and a messenger of the information coming through. But yeah, that's probably the uniqueness of the way I do it. I use a system called, to answer the rest of your question, Mark, True Quantum Healing, and that was formulated by a guy called Chris Keeler, from in Manitoba and Winnipeg, Canada, and he created the charts that I use today. And the system of using sacred geometry with it, like the Vesica Pisces, triple pyramid, and those sorts of things. And he's been a great mentor to me, with a number of other people from different areas, like nutrition and your mindset and those sorts of things. I've got many teachers and many people that are deemed mentors to me. But Chris Caylor created the system, Chris Caylor Holistic, and yeah, he's doing really well. And I think his system's been sold all around the world to a number of people. I don't know the current count, but I think there's over 60 people that have bought his program of the charts and you know, a small neutralization ring, sun ring, which are those there in a triple pyramid. And I was one of his first students to buy that. And out of that 60, I think, yeah, I might be wrong with this, but I think there's only a handful of us that actually do this professionally as a business, you know. And you know, even though we all practice true quantum healing, we're all different and unique in our own way, though, because even though I had that chart system, probably half those charts in that chart system are completely different now that I've formulated from information I've personally got. Yeah, I use different geometry tools. I use Merkaba, where I don't think many of the other true quantum healers use that tool. I've got other designs currently in play at the moment of new geometry tools, which again have come through my channel. So even though I'm practicing true quantum healing, it's kind of formulated to change to something completely different. And if you go from one true quantum healer, you know, say Nicola or Ty or Chris or myself, even though we're using a dowsing system, and some of them are using a pendulum, some of them are not. We're using geometry then to make a change with our intent. But you're going to find different perception and perspective from each different true quantum healer, and different ways of doing things. So, so I guess even though I'm a true quantum healer, and these other people doing a similar thing to me, what I'm doing here is unique, if you understand what I mean. So in regards to teachers, Chris Caylor, in regards to energy healing, my grandmother, who was a colour therapist, and that's where I started with in regards to energy, is definitely a mentor. Like when she passed away, she left all her coils and colour cottons and those sorts of things, her legacy with my mother, and then I was able to, that's how I started within this. So a massive gratitude to her in regards to that. And then nutrition, David Wolf, Peter Ragnar in regards to a number of things, nutrition, mindset, also positive attitude, positive intent as well from him. He's amazing. He's a guy that's doesn't like that. He's a big believer in time is toxic, and he's right. Time is a program, and he's now in his 70s or 80s, and he's lifting more weight in the gym than he ever has done when he was 20. And he's getting healthier and healthier, even though chronologically he's getting older if we go by that system. So, these people walk the talk, and that's the people I follow. Next question from Mark is, what you do is a form of magic, in my opinion. It is your knowingness and intention. All the tools you are using are just there to help yourself believing that it works. Do you see this similar? I don't. As I said in an earlier question, at this current time, I kind of feel like my personal experience of what I've seen so far, and this is just not me, but also the people that make these tools and other energy healers, is that you can use your intent. We have that power and that capability while we're within this simulated reality, which is really a limited form, because we've been put in a human experience or human body, which is deemed to limit these capabilities. The whole ascension is breaking out of that and knowing how powerful you really are. Is we can use our intent, and that may work on a level or layer 2 or 3 layers deep, but a lot of these problems go layers deeper than that, and we need to use something that is based upon the language of the structure in the universe, and geometry is definitely that, and that's why I use geometry to amplify my intent, so we can go deeper into a problem, so therefore we can remove the roots or the core of the problem out a lot better. So that has just been my experience so far. And will things change maybe 6 months down the track? Possibly. I think, yeah, that's all I can answer in regards to that question. The next question is by Mark again. How far do you have the certitude that the healing will indeed come? If the healing does not come, does it mean for you that you have not yet found everything related, or is it possible that the client opposes it and it will not work? Okay, so we've answered a bit about that so far. A bit of that I can definitely tell you exactly what's happening, and some, still up in the air about, and I'd love people to give me more information in regards to that. So how far do you have the certitude that the healing will indeed come? Again, I'm just going by my channel. I'm the messenger, and when it tells me to stop in a certain area that we've found that issue in that area, I trust that 100%. I've got to the point now that a lot of people send me links and messages of, check this person out, you should know about this person. I've kind of, earlier on, I used to do that, and I'd research and I'd put all that information in my charts and to see if it would come up, and half that stuff would never come up, which for me showed that wasn't valid. Some of it was valid, but I've now got to a point, really, I don't do a lot of research anymore outwards. I trust my source and my channel to give me my information, and I feel like my own journey, my own personal growth, spiritually and energetically, as well as other people that have been working on healing, have have leaped big time since I've just trusted my own channel and not gone external too far, and sourcing information elsewhere, and just completely trusting that. And I think there's a lesson there that we all need to do that on an individual basis, that we need to trust our own intuition and uncover our own capability in regards to intuition. And as I say, that Ascension Guide booklet is going to have some of that information in it, and to encouraging you to do little muscle testing and just getting yes or no answers to remove the kind of uncertainty or doubt out of your life about, is this the right for me? Is this the wrong for me? Let your body, listen to your body, listen to the intuition come through that will tell you what you need and what you don't need. And definitely that's something I really want to coach and help people with this year, and I'm definitely going to be doing that. And that guide booklet is definitely going to be part of it. And now I've also, on my website, you can actually go and book an appointment just for coaching now, and not just a healing session, because I know the importance of with booking that healing session. I want to do as many clearings as we can in that time, but a lot of people also just want to chat, and they want to talk about evolving on a conscious level, spirituality level, and I want to cater for that now. So yeah, I trust that the information's right and that they're going to get a healing. So that's my certitude. If the healing does not come, does it mean that you have not yet found everything related? Yes, yeah, correct. That definitely could be part of it. As I say, there's many layers of veiling that we need to do. This is something, this structure that we live in, this program, has been around for a very, very long time. And if you've had a number of reincarnations or past lives within this, you've got a lot of baggage you're holding on to. So, and especially within this life, if you've had a problem for a long time, it's, this whole idea of a one quick fix or one quick cure is just programming, and to cause a downside to you from emotional response to create more loose. It's, you had a journey having a problem, you can have a journey coming out of it. And I've had people that have had amazing miraculous results within one session, within 10-15 minutes, a couple of sessions, but that's not going to be for everyone. And then, or is it possible that the client opposes it? And that's the part of it I'm still is up in the air. And I would like to look at that a bit more. Definitely, I think, I don't know if it opposes it. I think they wouldn't book an appointment otherwise, but I think it's more that maybe they need to find a place themselves. It's I think it's not only the healer, it's the person themselves taking responsibility for their health. Okay, they've taken responsibility to look for help, but the true healer, I think, is always yourself. I'm here to guide you and to assist. And that's why I like to make my sessions very informative, so people are not just getting clearings, but they can take that information away with them and go about their own journey of healing themselves as well. So I think it's more about that. I think that there's something closed off within them. They need to open up, and sometimes that can be a place of pain and going back to old traumas. But that needs to be done to fully heal themselves. So I definitely think, I don't think it's a client opposing it because they booked an appointment to come and do the session, but I think it's some inner work that, one, learning about their reality. Learning about this reality is vital in regards to healing. There's no doubt about it. So I hope I've answered that question, answered everyone's question in regards to that. I hope you've really enjoyed this, and we'll have to do this again. Bye.